the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Susan every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Government declares Basilan free from Abusayaf threat. 8ID identifies 3 slain NPA rebels in summer clash. House approves bill doubling terms of barangay and SK officials to 6 years. PBBM says 911 emergency hotline to launch nationwide in July.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Tuesday, June 10, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rolf Susan Abay, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for the brief overview of our news, the government officially declared Basilan province free from the presence and threat of the Busayaf group, officials announced during a ceremony in Lamitan City. Presidential Peace Advisor Carlito Galvez Jr. and Special Assistant to the President Antonio Lagdameo Jr. hailed the milestone as a product of sustained national and local peace efforts. The ceremony featured the destruction of over 300 surrendered firearms and the unveiled of a peace marker. The military earlier confirmed that the last known ASG members in Basilan surrendered last December 2024.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 8th Infantry Division identified 3 of the 5 communist terrorists killed in a hot pursuit operation in Catubig, Northern Samar. The identified fatalities were Noel Labicio Sr. of Rojas, Catubig, Arnel Laquino of Barangay Osmeña, Palapag, and Nonoy Norcio of Luneta, Gamay. Their identities were confirmed by a former rebel leader who surrendered days earlier. 8ID Commander Major General Adonis Zariel Orayo praised the community cooperation and reiterated the military's appeal for remaining insurgents to surrender and join the government's ECLIP reintegration program.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let us hear some information from Joanne about military exercises in Region 2, part of Shift to Territorial Defense, aims to boost defense capabilities.
Major General Gadivar Siniaras, commander of the 5th Infantry Star Division Philippine Army, emphasized that the public should not be alarmed by the ongoing military exercises between American and Filipino soldiers in some areas of the Cagayan Valley. Major General Siniaras said that this is part of the Philippine Army's primary mandate to gradually shift to territorial defense operations from internal security operations. He stressed that this is crucial in preparing for the mandate to ensure sovereignty in the country's territory and strengthen the military's capabilities using modern vehicles and equipment of the armed forces of the Philippines with the help of U.S. forces. This development comes after the dismantling of various leftist groups that had been operating in the Cagayan Valley for over 50 years. Major General Siniares shared that the only group they are currently focusing on is the Ilocos Cordillera Regional Committee, which has around 50 active members. Meanwhile, the general confirmed that some vehicles and equipment of the U.S. forces arrived at the 5th ID camp coming from Santa Ana, Cagayan, where the 2025 Salakniv exercises had just concluded. These vehicles are headed back to Fort Magsaysay in Nueva Ecija, where Salakniv Phase 2 is currently underway, focusing on joint ground operations between the U.S. and Philippine Army. This is John Sagauk reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
5 Blue People's Army remnants operating in northern Mindanao surrendered during joint operations by the 1st Special Forces Battalion and the Philippine National Police's Regional Mobile Force Battalion Region 10. 1st Special Forces Battalion Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel Emilio Bautista said The surrenderers included a liaison or coma staff and regular members. They handed over an M16 rifle and an M203 grenade launcher. The former rebels cited exhaustion, hunger, and fear for their safety as reasons for surrendering amid intensified military offensives. Fort ID Commander Major General Michel Anayron Jr. welcomed the development as a step toward ending local insurgency.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Army Chief Lieutenant General Roy Galido received the Naval Special Operations Command Honorary Badge during his visit to Naval Base Heracleo Alano in Cavite City. He joined NAVSOCOM's elite training routine and emphasized the importance of physical fitness, leadership, and inspiring subordinates to exceed limits. His visits highlighted the strengthening cooperation between AFP service branches as the military pushes modernization and joint readiness efforts amid regional security challenges.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st Year Jebel 7030 Infantry Battalion conducts annual marksmanship, fire and maneuver practical exercises.
Yes, ROF, the 703rd Infantry Aguila Brigade Philippine Army, conducted annual marksmanship, fire and maneuver practical exercises as part of its ongoing efforts to maintain peak operational readiness and tactical proficiency. The training was facilitated by the personnel of the 7th Division Training School Marksmanship Training Team Department. It was held in Barangay Poblacion West, Rizal, Nueva Ecija, with participating troops undergoing intensive instruction aimed at enhancing their combat marksmanship, tactical movement, and coordination. This year's iteration of the training focused on sharpening live fire accuracy and refining integrated fire and maneuver techniques. In addition to these combat skills, the drill strongly emphasized discipline, safety protocols, and strict adherence to standard operating procedures. This is Meljo Inesio Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st CRG.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 4th Infantry Diamond Division launched refresher training for 380 CAFGU active auxiliary members in Bukidnon and Surigao del Sur last June 4 and 9 respectively. The training enhances military skills, discipline, and professionalism among CAA's key support forces in security operations. Fort ID Commander Major General Michel Anayron Jr. and Colonel Noel Kalimkim, the Chief of the Division CA Affairs Office, emphasized the training's role in sustaining peace and strengthening community-based security across northern Mindanao and Caraga.
DWDD National News.
And now for our national news, the House of Representatives has passed a third and final reading of the measure that would extend the terms of barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan officials from the current 3 years to 6 years. The House Bill number 11287 received 153 affirmative votes, 4 negative votes, while 1 abstained. Aside from extending the terms of the village and youth officials from the current 3 years to 6 years, the bill also seeks to reschedule the next barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections on the second Monday of May 2029. It sets a 2-term limit for elective barangay officials and 1 term for elective SK officials.
Armed Forces Radio.
From 7 CRG, let us hear from MIBS about NCR.com leads beef sharing for 1,000 beneficiaries across NCR.
Yes, Rolf, NCR.com leads beef sharing for 1,000 beneficiaries across NCR. In celebration of Eid al-Adha, a total of 1,000 beef packs were successfully distributed across 10 areas in the National Capital Region through a coordinated humanitarian initiative. This effort was led by the Integrative Center for Alternative Development or ICAD Foundation in partnership with international donors including Embrace Relief from USA, Time to Help United Kingdom, Germany, and Switzerland, and Australian Relief Organization. The activity was conducted in collaboration with the National Capital Region Command through the 7 CRG CRS AFP with support from Max Speed, 11 CMO Battalion and Community Support Program Valenzuela. The simultaneous beef sharing activity took place in Barangay UP Campus, Pook Arboretum, Barangay Pag-asa, Sitio San Roque, Benigno S. Aquino Junior Elementary School, and Old Capitol Site, all in Quezon City, Barangay 70 in Pasay City, Payatas A and Payatas B in Quezon City, Sipak Almacen in Navotas City, Moharlika Village in Taguig City, and Paso de Blas in Valenzuela City. Local officials, school staff, and community volunteers work together to ensure the orderly and efficient distribution of aid to beneficiaries across these areas. Before the program proper, AFP personnel from NCRCOM and 7 CRG presented brief educational materials about the armed forces of the Philippines and the West Philippine Sea, aimed at raising public awareness and encouraging informed civic engagement. This initiative not only provided meaningful assistance to communities, but also reinforced partnerships between the AFP and civilian stakeholders, contributing to peace building, social unity, and mutual understanding throughout NCR. This is Mabes Omaga reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mabes of 7 CRG.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine Red Cross has mobilized its volunteers and prepositioned essential resources nationwide to ensure a swift response to potential emergencies, including floods, landslides, and other weather-related disasters. PRC Chairperson and Chief Executive Officer Dick Gordon said the PRC is ready and on high alert as the country officially enters the rainy season. He added that every year they prepare for this and continue to strengthen their capacity to protect and save more lives. Gordon also instructed PRC staff and volunteers from the national headquarters and 102 chapters across the country to initiate planning and preparations for potential rescue and relief operations as the low-pressure area and the Habagat continue to bring rains to various regions.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. announced that the government will launch a unified national 911 emergency hotline by July. The president said the launch of a state-of-the-art national emergency hotline is an integral part of his administration's campaign against criminality. According to the Department of the Interior local government, the system will initially go live in Metro Manila, the Ilocos region, Central Visayas, and the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. The DILG added that the 911 system utilizes advanced technology to connect emergency calls directly to frontline responders, such as the Philippine National Police and the Bureau of Fire Protection, while minimizing prank or nuisance calls through enhanced screening mechanisms.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now some information from Bea about Philippine Navy apprehends 20 million pesos worth of undocumented cigarettes off Davao Gulf.
The BRP Hermenegildo Yurong PG-906 under the operational control of Naval Forces Eastern Mindano's Naval Task Force 71 apprehended a motorized bangka loaded with undocumented foreign brand cigarettes during a routine maritime patrol off Dumoy Point and Davao Gulf. A boarding team of PG-906 immediately inspected the vessel, identified as MB Sherafa, and discovered approximately 800 master cases of smuggled cigarettes with an estimated value of 20 million pesos. The vessel was secured and towed from shallow waters, then escorted to the Naval Station Felix Apolinario in Panacan, Davao City with assistance from the Naval Special Operations Unit 7. The seized contraband and the watercraft were formally turned over to the proper authorities upon arrival at Captain Fernanil Pierre NSFA for further investigation and legal proceedings. This Beatrice reporting for FP Community News, one FP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Bea.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Philippine Ports Authority has allocated more than 400 million pesos for the expansion and modernization of key ports in Leyte and Samar. These will serve as alternate transport routes amid the ongoing restrictions over the structural integrity of the San Juanico Bridge. PPA General Manager J. Daniel Santiago explained that the funding will come from the agency's corporate operating budget. Santiago then emphasized their commitment in strengthening inter-island connectivity and supporting the economic growth of the province of Leyte and the broader Eastern Visayas region.
DWDD National News.
The Trade Union Congress of the Philippines remains confident the proposed 200 peso legislated wage hike will be enacted into law. TUCP called on the Senate House Bicameral Conference Committee to expedite the ratification and endorsement for the signing of the wage hike bill by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The group explained that if it becomes a law, the wage hike measure would be the biggest single piece of legislation that will directly improve the lives of Filipino workers. It added that the president will have something truly meaningful to uplift the lives of Filipino workers in his July 2025 State of the Nation address.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Glenn about Philippine Air Force and PhilSCA forged strategic partnership in aviation, education, and training.
Yes, Rolf. Brigadier General Gerardo M. Zamudio, Philippine Air Force retired director of the Philippine State College of Aeronautics Flying School, paid a courtesy call to Commanding General Philippine Air Force Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordora at Colonel Jesus Villamor Air Base, Pasay City. The meeting reaffirmed the shared commitment of PhilSCA and the path to deepen collaboration in advancing air power and aviation education. This partnership aims to produce graduates who are not only prepared for pilot roles, but also equipped with the technical and support expertise essential to the path's mission accomplishment. The agreement marks a significant milestone in building a highly skilled and capable aviation workforce in support of national defense objective. This is Glenn Guchan reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Glenn.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. aims to transform traditional schools into smart and climate-resilient learning facilities with digitally empowered teachers. The President emphasized this initiative after spearheading the national kick-off of Brigada Escuela 2025 in San Miguel, Bulacan. The Department of Education has partnered with Khan Academy Philippines to install smart televisions, providing interactive courses aligned with the curriculum to equip students with foundational skills. To complement this, the Department of Information and Communications Technology also provided satellite-powered, all-weathered internet.
DWDD National News.
Over 5,000 police officers will be deployed in Metro Manila as students and teachers return to school on June 16. The National Capital Region Police Office announced it would mobilize 5,344 NCRPO personnel to secure public and private schools. They will be stationed in police assistance desks near schools. NCRPO Chief Major General Anthony Aberin said they want to reassure the students, parents, and educators that police will be there to ensure their safety, anchored on their recalibrated police visibility and institutionalized quick response to emergencies.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our reporter on the ground, let us hear the report of Gio about 12th IB joins local peace engagement in Iloilo.
The 12th Infantry Battalion joined in a localized peace engagement conference held at the Iloilo provincial capital. The conference brought together key representatives from the Regional Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict Region 6, Iloilo Provincial Administrator's Office, Philippine National Police, 62nd Special Action Company, Special Action Force, the Local Amnesty Board, and the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency. The LPE conference served as a platform to strengthen interagency collaboration, share insights on peace-building strategies, and reinforce a united front against insurgency and violent extremism. The 12th Infantry Battalion reaffirmed its commitment to foster peace and development in the region through sustained engagement and support for both national and local peace initiatives. This is Gio reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gio.
Armed Forces Radio.
And now from Solcom, let's hear from Jess about 31st IB conducts Philippine Navy wraps up successful mobile recruitment in Legazpi City.
Yes, Rolf, the Philippine Navy, through the Naval Forces Southern Luzon, has successfully completed its week-long mobile recruitment screening for Naval Officers Candidate Course or NOCC and Sailor Basic Course or SBC. The screening was held from June 2 to June 9, 2025 at Naval Station Hulasan, Rasainra, West Legazpi City. This initiative brought the Navy's recruitment closer to aspiring applicants in Southern Luzon, making the application process more accessible without the need to travel to Metro Manila. Hundreds of hopeful candidates underwent the full screening process, which include the APSAT or the Armed Forces of the Philippines Service Aptitude Test, IQ and Neuro exams, physical and fitness tests, and panel interviews. The Philippine Navy continues to seek committed and capable individuals who are ready to serve the nation and protect its seas. This effort reflects the Navy's strong commitment to building a modern, multi-capable, and inclusive maritime force for the country. This is Just from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess from Solcom.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, the Department of Social Welfare and Development welcomed the latest social weather station survey showing fewer families identifying as poor in April. DSWD spokesperson Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao called the results a good indicator of the effectiveness of the government programs. Dumlao added that this also shows the effectiveness of the 4Ps or Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program in helping the poor attain the level of self-sufficiency. 4Ps is the national government's flagship program aimed at breaking the cycle of intergenerational poverty by providing education and health grants to household beneficiaries.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Migrant Workers and the province of Nova Scotia in Canada have formalized a framework that promotes ethical recruitment and aligns Filipino workers' skills with the province's labor market requirements. DMW Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak and Nova Scotia Minister of Advanced Education Brendan Magire signed a memorandum of understanding at the DMW office in Mandaluyong City. Kakdak said the MOU is a testament to their shared commitment to deepen bilateral ties and promote a labor migration system grounded in dignity, fairness, and opportunity. The agreement outlines provisions for ethical recruitment, redeployment, and technical training for the Filipino workers.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Mike. Southland College holds ROTC graduation and turnover ceremonies in Cabancalan City.
The Southland College successfully conducted its ROTC graduation ceremony and turnover of graduates in Cabancalan City, Negros Occidental. The ceremony marked a significant milestone for the ROTC graduates as they officially transitioned from cadetship to becoming part of the Armed Forces of the Philippines Reserve Force. In his Keystone address, Lieutenant Colonel Elmar El Salvador, acting commanding officer of the 15th Infantry Battalion, urged the graduates to live out the values of discipline, patriotism, and public service. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Gina about Tubungan holds 3-day emergency medical services training for CTG cleared barangays.
Yes, Raf, the local government unit of Tubungan recently conducted a 3-day emergency medical services training in Barangay Igdampog Norte. The activity is part of the DOST
Phase 2 project Rising Tubungan, Embracing Innovation and Digitalization, in partnership with the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office. It was made possible through the joint efforts of the LGU, 61st Infantry Battalion, Municipal Health Office, MDRRMO, BFP Tubungan, and DOST CES team. This initiative featured key topics about first aid and basic life support, triaging, splinting and bandaging, knot tying, and mountain search and rescue. The training aimed to boost emergency response capabilities across 7 CTG-cleared barangays including Igdampog Sur, Igtuble, Molina, Bikil, Nagba, and Bato, which are all identified as highly vulnerable to floods and landslides. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
Moreover, the Department of Migrant Workers has crafted a policy with the Bureau of Customs and other government agencies to ensure that all balikbayan boxes are not only delivered but also done without delay. DMW Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak said the Joint Administrative Order establishes a whole-of-government framework to regulate the sea cargo forwarding industry, protect the OFWs from scams, and ensure balikbayan boxes reach their destinations safely and on time. Kakdak added that JAW also includes a multi-agency complaints and monitoring system to fast-track the reporting, tracking, and resolution of cases involving delayed or lost boxes. They also emphasized that the public education campaign will warn the OFWs against using unaccredited forwarders and inform them of the rights and options.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the WWD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rolf Susan Abay for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Mga katropa, alam mo ba na ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP Radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army, Navy at Air Force na siyang maghahatid sa inyo ng mga balita mula sa ating Armed Forces at iba pang impormasyon. Mga katropa, hanapin at ilike kami sa Facebook, Twitter at YouTube. DWDD AFP Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino. Ito